ground to global markets. Go-to-market strategies in MedTech.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. By way of introduction, I am Mark Dagger, a growth advisory, management, and strategy consultant. So basically, I help healthcare companies and medtech companies to gain market traction and achieve growth. And with that, I will open the floor for an introduction for our panelists. Dr. Ali? The mic is off. Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ali Tinazli. I'm PhD Biophysics and CEO of Lifespin. We are based in Germany, and we are building an omni-intelligent system based on real blood measurements in combination with AI, and more to share as we speak.
Salam alaikum. Good afternoon. My name is Pilar. I'm the founder of iExpand. We help health tech and tech bio companies commercialize globally. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hamzeh Awad. I'm Associate Professor in Health Science at Higher College of Technology, and I'm also the advisor for health technology. And apart from my work in academia and research, I'm very clinician, or I'm very fascinated about clinical innovation and industry as well. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Mudassar. I'm a strategic engagement director at Monster Lab. It's a Japanese company. I have 20 years of tech and most recently health tech experience in the Middle East, Turkey, Africa region. And more on this in this forum. Thank you.
Thank you. So as we delve into the nuances of go-to-market strategies, let's begin by exploring the trends and dynamics that play a pivotal role in shaping the adoption of market strategies. What market trends and dynamics have you observed that influence the adoption of go-to-market strategies in the medtech sector, particularly when scaling from domestic to global markets? Dr. Ali, would you like to start?
So I think we are observing now in the post-pandemic period that now hospital systems are open up for new technologies. I think they've been all swamped in the past couple of years. Now, fortunately, there's a great proliferation in the healthcare provider space, being more open for new technologies. And yeah, I think particularly the Asia-Pacific markets or the Global South in general is extremely exciting in this respect, and also spearheaded by this region here.
Dr. Mudassar?
Yes, I would add to what Dr. Ali is saying. It's also about the opportunity. Like we heard this morning, Dr. Khalud talking about the regulatory framework, the challenges that we're seeing in this region. My friend Dr. Mazen mentioned about 60 million worth of market size for medtech companies. But then also there is $100 billion being spent on healthcare alone, with 20% year-on-year growth. So definitely hundreds of companies are coming, startups, scale-ups, and more wants to come. So go-to-market is a first and foremost challenge. How do they adapt to the market needs, and offering market access as a service is the need of the day. Yeah.
Okay. I would love to add one more point. I think going to the market is a big term that consider in terms of health technology, whether the market needs adoption or transformation. That's a very good point to consider as an initial step when we wanted to expand toward the global market. There are certain places they are not ready for transformation. They might be ready for adoption only. There are places who will need more transformation in a way that they can have more comprehensive approach and system that would enhance the ability for better practice.
Right, and also since we are moving towards healthcare digitalization, I believe this is one of the trends that is shaping the adoption of medtech solutions more and more in our current world. Moving on to commercialization, and because it is a critical stage in bringing innovative medtech products to market, could you share your perspective on the key factors that contribute to successful commercialization strategies in medtech companies looking to launch new products, and how does it help in scaling up these products? How do you approach market assessment, pricing strategies, and stakeholder engagement? Pilar, would you like to take this one?
Thanks, and that in 3 minutes. Okay. First of all, I would like to take a step back and think about what is commercialization. In healthcare, in health tech, we are not selling a pair of shoes. How people receive, deliver, and pay for services changes dramatically from country to country. And yet, we see the same clone business strategies trying to be repeated over and over. So there's a bit of a mismatch there. It has to be bespoke, which leads me to the second part. What is global commercialization? I don't think it exists. At best, you will have a multi-location strategy. Even Amazon is only #1 in 40 countries. So then it becomes, in such a fragmented market, as our peers mentioned, it becomes a de-risking exercise, because the odds are going to be against the founders, but knowing what the blind spots are going to save you a lot of trouble. So how do I do that in a practical way? I simplify it to 2 main questions, and I'll give you some examples. #1, are you needed in that market, in that shape, in that business model? Founders tend to go to where they want to go, not where they should go. The market will tell you, not the product. So you have to do a bit of market-driven research, look at the competition, look at how the market is, absorbing those services, the adoption, but also the cost of localization, because the question is if the market is viable for you and you are viable for the market. And then if you are needed, you need to figure how you can sell, because that's what commercialization is, sales, in a replicable way. With whom? So to cut a long story short, it's like, for me, commercialization is where to go and why, with what, with whom, and how to make money. And one example, for instance, is I would like to debunk just 2 big traps. That there is a need in the market doesn't mean that people are going to adopt you. So we need to look beyond product market fit to distribution and pricing fit. And that there is a reimbursement code doesn't mean that the market is going to pay you either. And one example is DIGA in Germany, for example. But that's, sorry, I just got it.
You opened the floor for 2 more questions, but I think Dr. Hamzeh would like to add something.
I would like to add one more important point. If the market is saturated with different ideas, you can always find a small door where you can enter. It is a matter of, is it patient perspective needed, healthcare professional perspective needed, market needed? We need to look at our strategy and look at the market itself. Market with adoption of technology always need new innovations. Market with system that needs more enhancement or more convincing that my solution is going to help patient-centric approach, multidisciplinary, single-disciplinary approach, and many other points that you can consider in clinically. As a person, I work in clinical, academia, and industry, and advising health tech. I see the patient perspective is very important in any global market expansion. That's what I wanted to add.
Great. Would you like to add?
Yep. And so there are 2 interesting aspects. On one end, if MedTech is created by technologists, it's important to understand how to get the first mile done, so how to get the patient actually into the system. And this is typically solved by speaking or starting with the top institutions in a given country. So I'm, for example, traveling a lot in Asia Pacific, and the mechanisms are always the same. Find the top-notch institution or the set of top-notch institutions which share your problem statement that you don't have to sell, but really have like-minded partner who actually need the right type of solution. And the rest of the mechanism is quite straightforward, because it may sound daunting to talk about global business, but at the end of the day, it always comes back to the very same mechanisms.
Right. This brings us to one important question is customer preferences and healthcare needs can differ from one region to another. How can you ensure that the MedTech solutions are effectively localized and resonate with diverse customer bases in global markets?
Maybe.
Sure.
Can I
Dr.
take?
Yes.
So I want to take what Pilar just mentioned, that just because you have the tech, you think that there is a market need. It's not always the case. I can tell you customer preference drives everything. So for example, I have a watch that has ECG in it, but if I go to my doctor, he will put 12-lead ECG, he will do the reading, he will print it out, he will read it out, he will stamp it, he will scan it, and then it will go into my EMR. And if I have to do it again after 1 week, it will do the same process will follow. So market adoption is very much driven by customer preferences. And that is a key differentiator between choosing which market to go and which market you want to avoid. Yeah.
I'm also on this, piggybacking on your comment. Who is the customer? I mean, we tend to think about patient, but who's driving the car? We forget about clinicians when we design the solutions. It's like Uber says, look, we're going to change how you drive cars, and we're going to push, a lot of the passengers, but here is some information. It's not working because even the patient-oriented solutions are not getting the prescribers on board. And this is extremely important. And then going back to localization, when we look at companies that might be delivering a tech-enabled service, therapy, something, in one country, we normally end up 9 out of 10 times not delivering a therapy in an additional market. Why? Because the cost of localization is just too high. Not only is that translation feature, sometimes you have to change the protocols. If you deliver a fever, you have a fever in winter in Europe, you may have a flu. If it's in Tanzania during malaria season, it's malaria. So it affects too much. So a lot of companies need to figure which is the wrapper I'm going to take in that new market. I'm going to be a tech enabler or tech-enabled therapy or solution. Are we going to be a pipeline product, a service, part of a platform, my own platform? And the key of that is localization and technical depth and the cost of going to market. Sorry.
So we cannot have one business model that fits all, of course.
And even on the same market, you should have several motions. What you see in LinkedIn is normally the direct to consumer, but most of the people are making money on the B2B side.
Right.
And that's exactly what I think I call it packages. You can create your own packages with to fulfill the needs of your target people. So if I remember in 2014, I come from Jordan. I went to Jordan. I just was trying to implement telehealth with different pharmaceutical or pharmacies and different medical labs. I came with kind of innovation. They didn't understand the concept in that time. They said, well, you are 5 years ahead of what we wanted to do it. And now I think they are more implementing this. And when I just look at the achievements, I just laugh and I just say, like, look, maybe my idea was if it has been postponed 5 years, that might be I get success with introducing the ideas to people. So the right time is very important. COVID did one good point, apart from all of the bad things that happens worldwide, which is enhancing the level of technologies adopted and translations of these type of technologies in different countries. And there are more people now, they are in race to share some of their expertise. And then we are here in Dubai from different countries coming to present our innovation and our technology and the startups' innovations. Next month, we are probably moving to Germany or going to Italy or going to somewhere else. We will share our experience and other people sharing their experience. So I think the networking is quite important to see if this is the right time to share my expertise and build up more R&D arm to satisfy the needs and the expectation of the market. I need to forecast. Forecasting is very important for any startup to build a very successful global market.
Yes, exactly. Identifying the unmet needs first and the need for the technology in the country or the specific region you are looking at. You both mentioned collaboration and partnerships. And collaboration and partnerships are often essential for the success of in any market. And especially if a company is going from a domestic market to a global market. How can investors assess the risk in investing in medtech companies and startups that are looking to scale up? I think this is one of the key questions investors will look at. At the previous panel, they discussed how they look forward to investing in the person and not just the solution. So how can these investors assess the risk of the technology?
Can I start?
Of course.
I will just start briefly so that I can give the time for the others. Investors care about the small wins. Probably, first, they need to see your successful story. Have you reached this kind of success? What is your KPI and how did you approach this KPIs in last year? And what is your innovational side? What is your strategy? What is your marketing strategy? And how you're going to expand? And then this is one of the points that they consider. But as many small wins that you have, you can convince the person.
Please go ahead.
This question is very close to my heart. What do investors invest in? Businesses. What is a business? Something people pay for. So investors want to see at some point that there is viability, commercial viability. That doesn't mean that you deliver sales traction, because the good news is that if you do the right work, you might get there. You might have a few customers here and there. But it's the second notch when you go from a startup to a scale up is what's going to make it up. And this is a bit where you look at the team, the operational excellence, how scalable the business model is. So this is the areas that we look at, because we look at the business, not only making the money, but delivering on the promise as well.
And scalability is the key thing. On one hand, you have to be very much knowledgeable about your cost structure, that you scale in a sustainable fashion, that you build a profitable business. Now, scalability, I've seen many medtech companies where you have physical goods, like products you can touch, but also medtech companies now in the AI space, where the products cannot be touched, but you have to scale them over the cloud. And in each case, you have to be very informed about the regulatory aspects, about the data privacy compliance aspects. There's a lot. It's not, how shall I say, it's nothing you cannot do, but it's very important to really do the math right, that you really understand what does it actually mean to scale up. For example, in our business, it's AI data, so we need to be informed about the data privacy laws, also about the potential transfer of data from country A to country B. Are there any pitfalls or are there any loopholes because it's not covered yet? That's very important to have really a good overview. But no matter what, at the end of the day, it's about building a profitable business, basically that the hopefully useful product you have is at a price point which covers your cost and helps to make some more money.
And Mark, I just want to add on the second part of the question in terms of collaboration and partnership from our story, like Monster Lab, a Japanese company, hardly rooted in Tokyo. So how do we started and grew ourselves? So from Japan into APAC was an easy journey. So China, Hong Kong, Singapore, and then moving to UK, Europe, and then North America. So that took about 15 years for us to scale up, right? But in Middle East, like this region, if you just minus the COVID out, it was just 3 years of scaling up. So how did we do that? If I can tell you a few things, like here, first of all, the whole region is very much inviting talent. The leadership vision is to make this whole place as a hub of R&D and innovation so that they can solve the health tech challenges, not for this region, but for the world. So that is a plus. But then also as they say, culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? So we have to identify and find a local partner, a local representative office that basically represented us. We went into a free zone to get facilitated with window operations. We look at some kind of collaboration with one of the top 3 cloud providers. We even ended up having few acquisitions as well. So, and now we are in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, in Saudi, and few more regions to open, inshallah. So, to answer you, Mark, there are 3 things I call it a triple P model, or a partnership model. So, you partner with the market. So, find the best market fit, adopt, diversify, no matter what you do, but never lose focus on what you're great at. That is first for medtech companies. The second one is partnered with the government, the regulatory bodies, the health agencies, so that you're always compliant, you're always having data privacy issues on the check, you're always integrated with the health system, you're always accessible. And the third and most important thing is partnered with us, with the ecosystem, because it takes a village, it takes a city, it takes all of us to work together to address unmet needs of the patient. And then the foundation of it is human-centric design that we specialize at Master Lab. Yeah.
Add on more point, which is also to consult people who knows the area, who knows the market,
Absolutely.
and that they can just make a short ways for you to, or less hustle.
Absolutely.
But this brings us to an interesting point. How can medtech companies align their go-to market strategies with the payers? So we talked about the patients, we talked about the companies. How can you align with the payers? Because the payers in our systems, especially moving towards value-based care, which most countries are moving towards that system, how can these companies align their strategies to the payers?
Well, I think it's always very important to have your product in a local test bed in form of a pilot, right? Because the pilot doesn't need to be large, but needs to be compelling. If you can show a pilot, and to be honest, each country wants to see its own pilot. It's perfectly legit, but once you have these pilot data, then you can approach insurance companies, or the first do the mapping of your insurance company landscape, like which insurance companies are most likely to adapt new technologies, speak to the right people. I'm a big fan of strategic business development, not talk to everyone because we have limited lifetime, be very strategic focused in the parties you are talking to, and then go forward.
I would add on this one, it depends who you are, but I'm taking the view, this is the startup or scale up at max, yeah? I would say going to market on a B2G or B2, even insurance model, like social insurance, is just, it doesn't scale. You can do it once, twice, but you're not going to do it 20 times. So piggyback. When we look at B2B, people tend to be B2B because we consider insurance a business or hospital a business. No, I'm talking about white label. Figure out who is delivering what, who has already the footprint in that market. Go to the garage and figure out what are the pieces that you could offer where you are different. We tend to compare apples with apples in competition. No, I'm looking always for difference. Why? Because I want to know how I could actually partner with these guys. They already have the market. So, and this takes me, a bit, to a reflection on partnerships and go-to-market. I started my career more than 20 years ago. I don't think I'm the only one here, but, And where we are going with this prevention and value base is going to where I started my career with different flavors. Where is the market moving? We are moving towards population health. And population health, if you consider the infrastructures that you have to deliver, the health IT, is PPP, going to Mohammed's. Public, partner, partnerships. Everybody that's doing big implementation, whether it's Indonesia, Saudi, we have to companies have to get on board on these big projects because they are not going to be allocated to you. So you need to figure out who else is there and how you can add value. Number one. Because then, if you are not in, the government is your number one competitor. You're out. And then the second one is the platform. Point solutions are pointless. So platforms are like telco infrastructures. So think in that framework, and you will see a lot of different, things. Sorry, I'm extending myself.
Yes, and finally, to wrap up, so as the medtech industry continues to evolve, what emerging trends do you foresee shaping the future of go-to-market strategies for companies that are looking to expand? If we can just keep it brief, because we have to wrap up.
Can I take? Yeah.
Of course.
So I will connect with that first point of the payer as well. So what payers are interested in is paying for. So we had since morning we're discussing about prevention, moving from sick care to health care, improving health and well-being of people, keeping them outside, educating the patients, and having new trends like biohacking is emerging, self-care is emerging, auto-diagnostics, remote patient monitoring, telehealth. So there's a whole lot of tech innovations that are happening, but adoption is key. So we can partner with the insurance providers to incentivize people adopting a healthy lifestyle. And I can give an example of Singapore, where Monster Lab has partnered with FWD. We have a health and well-being app provided by the insurance, and we have 10 million plus subscribers, and they are incentivized. They get reward points for adopting a healthy lifestyle, keeping out of the health systems, and the premiums are going lower. So that is one thing that I can share an example. Yeah.
Thank you.
I will add a couple of points. Just prevention is better than cure. This is a statement that we know when we were kids. To what extent that insurance believe in this, they are hopefully going to believe in this one day. But a lot of insurance, they are investing in the treatment rather than in the prevention. To what extent we can convince this or make paradigm for a shift in the operational level, I think the window for this is the clinical documentations. Clinical documentation is taking great part of any hospital or primary care centers. And if we try to adopt to the clinical documentation of the primary care centers, we add more of our sense of digital screening, and then we give more people a privilege to share their perspective, and then the companies to be part of their work, and then aligning with the operational level, using a snowball technique, and then more and more with involving within the operational level, we will see more insurance on our favor. We will see more innovation that coming to the clinic, and we will see more people believe in the role of technology in enhancing their healthy lifestyle. Because healthy lifestyle is a quite big term, and then prevention, it has primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. Can be prevention after the disease, it can be prevention before the disease. So I just wanted to conclude with that.
Thank you for wrapping this conversation up. Please join me in thanking our panelists for this interesting conversation.